Did you know that the church, like the whole Christian church, almost never happened? I mean, maybe that's a stretch, but hear me out. The church is what happens when you don't give up. The very guy who Jesus chose to build the church almost gave up entirely. And I want to tell you that story today to help you remember to find out what happens when you don't give up. I know you want to give up. You're tired, you're discouraged, you're sick of trying, sick of failing, sick of fighting, tired of your spouse who's tired of you. Whatever you're going through, I understand what it feels like to want to give up. But I'm here today to tell you that God is a God who makes magic out of messes. He's a God who uses broken people to build beautiful beginnings. He did it with Peter, right? Peter was so committed to Jesus, he cut off a guy's ear when Jesus was arrested in the garden. He told Jesus that even if everyone else deserted him, he would not. And then, of course, Jesus is arrested. Peter runs into a teenage girl and he denies that he even knows Jesus 3 times, just as Jesus predicted. What a failure. And then Jesus dies. The dream is over. Peter's going back to fishing. I guess all those miracles were just tricks. I guess all the promises were empty. Peter was done. You've been there, haven't you? You failed God. You failed yourself. You didn't live up to expectations. Somebody disappointed you. Some Christian didn't act very Christ-like, and you're ready to toss this whole Jesus thing to the curb. Peter gets you because Peter was just like you. Peter, the very guy who Jesus said he'd build the church upon, he gave up. After he denied Jesus, Peter went back to fishing. He was done. Even when he met the resurrected Christ, he was in despair. But Jesus restored him, gave him strength, put wind in his sails, made him the leader of the church despite his failures. And do you know what Peter wrote in his letter that we call 1 Peter? He wrote this: "Dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you, but rejoice inasmuch as you participate in the sufferings of Christ, so that you may be overjoyed when his glory is revealed." 1 Peter 4:12-13. Friends, when things get difficult, and they will, listen to the guy who is most qualified to say this, Peter, when he says, you will be overjoyed someday. There is glory just around the corner. You're being refined. Trials make you better for what's ahead. I've seen this in my own life over and over and over again. Lean into God. Run to him. Get refined. Cry if you have to. Yell at him even. Tell him what you're feeling. But don't give up. Instead, hang on and find out what happens just around the corner when you don't